Ele foi exceção. I'm going to be more to let's get that. Stay calm. I'll go check. How about that? That No, thank you. You could do the shop, please. Yes.
Hello, Dr. Mbara, please, are you there? Hello, Dr. Mbara. Can you hear me, please? Hello. Maybe while we're waiting, I can go on my. That's okay.
Yeah. No.
Yep, check. Okay. Good morning, everyone, please. My name is Tasumea Onyemuchara. Essentially, I'm also the chair of this panel, which most of our friends are not here. Let me call the culture. My panel is dance and African performances in the 21st century, which and Discontinuities. So they take this second one, second slide. This is me as I have introduced. Next one. Okay, introduction. What I try to paint here is that possession and spirit mediumship are two holistic and dynamic concepts that are prevalent in indigenous performances, African performances. So there's, so to speak, most of what we do in Africa, there's no way you perform in on African stage with those indigenous practices without having these mediumships, spirit mediumships, in our performances. African spirituality is significantly a practice and a belief system. Unlike what people think, it's not like you are doing something that is strange. You are doing something that you believe in, that you practice. That's what represents you. The next one is it embodies the interconnectedness of the two worlds trapped in the in-between. That's what you call the threshold. When you perform, you are in between the two worlds, the living and the dead, so to speak. You are at the verge of crossing the line, but you are not there and you're not here. So when you are in the in-between, it's called the threshold. And again, you say it is passed down from generation to generation, through oral narratives, so folk tales, rituals, songs, festivals, among others. Its efficacy hinges on the believability of the historical culture, and religious practices. So more often times, these things are there and people believe in it. If you don't believe in it, you cannot practice it. That's what we're trying to say here. Okay, so these are the objectives that we are trying to look at. The study seeks to examine how gender challenges and shapes the practice of spirit mediumship and present in African performance. Two, to investigate how these performances mirror and or challenge power dynamics. Let me just go back. Let me just play a little back what led me into this research. Sometime in 2007, I was with National Theatre of Nigeria. We were to perform EBA. EBA, that's the focus of our study. EBA was created by Professor Irima and another dog. So the performance was so real that people got into the threshold unknowingly, and it was almost like going to take someone's life. The woman who played Iyabori, that's Mama Bori. So after the rehearsals, the first day we had the rehearsals, we came back from the hotel to rehearse. The lady did not want to do anything again. So we didn't know what happened. So she said that after she was allowed to speak, by the power that be, the spiritual, in the spiritual realm. That was what she communicated to her, that she was not asked to say anything. She was mute. She didn't say anything. So when at the point she now spoke out, she said that this woman that was very old woman with this mouth filled with goro, this kola nut. She was seeing her, but she has a roommate. The roommate was not seeing the woman. So the woman was telling her that who asked her to play the Yabori, role. That while she was telling her, she even asked her to wake up from her sleep. So it was like she's in the threshold. She was in the threshold. She was not knowing she didn't know what was happening here, and she's not there. So she was in the in between. So the woman said she should get up. So because she's a Christian, she carried her Bible and put on her head to sleep. So the woman now asked her again to remove the Bible from her head. So she removed the Bible. And the woman now, at a point, the roommate started praying, because she was seeing what was going on, but she was not seeing the other woman, but she was seeing the person, her roommate, talk. Okay, so she now said, okay, that she should tell the roommate to stop praying. So she said that to the roommate. The roommate now stopped praying and was, still maybe soliloquizing, So, and I asked her to get up. She woke up, got up. She said she should remove her clothes. She removed all her clothes, and she said she should open the door and follow her. She opened the door and started walking out of the camp naked. So it took the intervention of the roommate to scream and shout for help. So the other guys who were around the vicinity in the other different rooms came out and grabbed her. She was already walking out of nobody knew where she was going, but that was what the woman was telling her, and she was. So in that state now, that's what we're saying, that someone is in the state of in between. She was in the threshold. She's not conscious of the real world and not conscious of the other world. So that was what happened. So after the incident, when she now came, she now said that her reason, this is where my gender ideology came in. Her reason was that why did they pour libation, perform the ritual for all, because we had about 7 masquerades, for all the 7 masquerades, because she's a woman, that nobody gave her her rights. Okay, so that was why. And before they could allow that, she should allow her to play that role, that they must have to perform the same ritual for her. So we're looking at this, the issue of gender, power struggle and all those things. That was where we came. I would also like to, I will still explain the liminal stage when we get to that. So I'm using autoethnographic study to do this, because that's the experience I had, that what prompted my research. So all what I'm going to talk about is based on personal experience, personal encounter. It's good. So the theoretical framework I'm using here, I said I was using English social role theory, but that will be, in a minor, because he's not going to be the major thing I'm going to argue about. But the social role theory is talking about each of the genders, the male and the female, have their own peculiar roles they play in the performance too. The women knew what to do, and the men knew what to do. No one crosses each other's path. So, and again, the major theory we are using here is known as a theory of liminality. That's what we are using here. So go ahead. So that's why I say liminality explained. The liminality, like I said, is the state of threshold, the threshold of in the in-between. Okay, when someone is neither here nor there, is in the in-between. That's what is called the threshold. Okay. Okay, like I said here now, it could come in the form of physical, temporal, or psychological. So when it comes to the physical, just when you're performing on stage, the use of curtains, the use of flowers and the apron, that's the divide. Okay, that's also the physical threshold. The temporal threshold is the use of costumes, lighting, is in also the threshold. The psychological is in the mindset. You can still be here, but your mind is not here. So when you're off, it means the self at the moment is not there. So that person is in the threshold region. So it could also be like Turner gave about four what do you call it? Four stages of liminality. The first one is the separation, the liminal state, that's a threshold, the reintegration, and the communitas. This was when he did a research among the Indian people of Zambia, when he studied their culture, their ritual. So that was how he came up with these stages of. The first one is the separation. When the person is about to go into the initiation, he's separated from his household. That's the first thing. The second one is when he gets to the liminal stage. The liminal stage is that point that he does not belong to the family again, and he's not even in that particular system. For instance, when they're trying to do a ritual, it means that that stage that he is, you are not here and you're not there. It means in the state of threshold. Now, the reintegration is when he performs that right, he's accepted back to the society. They welcome him for doing that, and he's celebrated. That's the committee. So my work is based on National Troop of Nigeria's experience. National Troop of Nigeria, as we know, is a government agent, under the Ministry of Arts, Culture, and creative curriculum, pioneered by Chief Hubert Ogunde. Hubert Ogunde was the founder of the National Troop. At the point, I was heard that he was asked, he went to the federal government that he wants to run a national troop. But the federal government did not want to support him. He now assured that he will sponsor it by himself. So he now brought in artists all around Nigeria to form the national troop, and they were based in Asasa, Ogun State. That was where he kept them and trained them himself. There were about 100 and something, artists, in different areas: dance, drama, music, even crafts. So that was what he did. So when he died in 1991, the federal government now took over the troop. Okay, they now moved the troop from Ogun State to the National Theater. That was where they stayed. And the major reason is to sustain and preserve the culture, the cultural tradition of Nigeria through dance, music, and drama. Okay, now our text is looking at the Eba. Eba is a Yoruba word which means homage. Okay, it means homage. It was created by Professor Amadi Rima, and the choreographer was Arnold Udoka at that time. He was just Mr. then, but he is now Dr. Arnold Udoka. So he was prepared for a performance tour of the US. Okay, so and it was meant to pay obeisance to the gods of the land through drum, the orishas and masquerade, traditions of the land. That was what they did, and it tried to incorporate the different performance traditions of different areas of Nigeria. Let's go. Okay, you can see here they say the structure of Eba. There are four major different segments in Eba. One, I said the worship. I had to add some other things. The worship, which is the homage. Because the first thing is that the worshiper comes in on stage. To praise the different orishas, the Yemoja, the Ogun, the Shango, all of them. They had their pots. Once it gets to any of them, she praises the person, asking for power, asking for knowledge and all those things. From there, we used the drum ensemble. Drum ensemble is when you have different drums and the drummers are there. They play in that bit of trying to also use it to praise the spirit of drums. First, the lead drummer comes in with the what's it called? This Badagry drum, this Sato drum, one tall drum that you can't play it except you jump to play it. So he brings it in, rolls it because they had some tires that could make him draw it. And it was set on stage, covered until he started doing the uriki or on the the big drum. So after that, the other ones now came in. They now did the drum ensemble, aimed at praising, paying homage to the god of drum. Then you now see the visit of the ancestors. That's why I dropped this picture here. These are masquerade. These are a masquerade, and one of the masquerades that we performed. Then the healing. The healing here now is the area of the Bori. The Bori. There was this issue that happened. Some men were farming. So out of maybe greed, someone will try to undo the other person who was working very hard. When he did that, the guy now gets into that possession mode. So they now took him out and brought him to the Yaburi for healing. So that's why we have the healing. Then there's celebration. Celebration now means different dances from different ethnic groups how to perform. Okay. Okay, now we have the elements. The elements we have there now in the performance. Now we have the ritual, we have the dance, the chant, the masquerading, the song, the acting, costume, makeup, and the paraphernalia. These are the different things we had in the Iba performance. There are things that made the performance what it was. You had all the elements, and these components. Without them, the Iba would not have had any meaning. Okay, let's go. Gender and position, what's that? Okay, with gender position in a performance. The African indigenous gender bias is binary. So here I'll try to say what it means. Binary means the sense that what is recognized in here is the male and the female. Indigenous African performance. But performance explored the intersection of gender, position, and spirit mediumship in African performances. Let's go. Okay, gender dynamics in Eba. So what was found in Eba was that men were drummers and masqueraders. Women never played any role in the area of drumming or in the area of masquerading. It was all men-centric. Men were the only ones who were there. Women were only dancers, and there are dances that they could do, and they are the ones that they could not do. They have their own peculiar dances, while the men also have their own peculiar dances. Though there are also dances that the both of them coexisted, performed, had the same dance space. Though you have the next one, women engage as mediums, as spiritualists. The lady who was the chanter was a woman, and the man could not have done what she did because of the kind of voice she had. She could call the spirits, and the spirits could obey her. So that's why. Because if you had given it to a man to play it, a man couldn't have been a yemoja, so to speak. Even when he's possessed, the yemoja spirit, took, because it's like say a mermaid, water spirit. It is in the woman. When it gets to the man, it gives the man the same female spirit. If the man gets it too, then the congenital position rules, and then sex of the performer does not determine spirit embodiment. In this area now, I was looking at the issue of possession. Oftentimes, most people feel that women get possessed more than the men. But in this performance, both men also got possessed. So which means it wasn't a woman thing. So both gender can have that. So what's the next thing is what's that? I can't see that.
Processes and methods of various mediums.
Oh, okay, mediumship. So we have the trance, the invocation, spirit entry, mediums, roles in the Iba. During the Orisha and the Bori, that was what they have in the performance. Then the threshold when they are in the word of the in-between. Okay. Okay, thank you. Conclusion. So what I said here is that Iba performance is the 5 African traditional religious practices, embedding gender in visible identity, treating person as real experience, and merging national stage with ritual authenticity. Okay, thank you so much. Unfortunately, we are not seeing anybody online yet, or anybody has come.
No.
Nobody has come online. Does it mean that they didn't get the online listing? I know everybody got online Zoom link. So I don't know why.
You want to maybe reach out to them personally to see.
Okay, to call.
Yes. This. It would be nice to also have other people who were maybe around at that moment.
Okay.
Interrogate also to see how this affects performance. Because I begin to now think of the authenticity angle of performance. Because are we going to say they did perfect or did too much? I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because art for a lot of people is supposed to be believable. It thrives a lot of believability. And for this to have happened, it means they struck a nerve. So it also speaks to the authenticity. But I guess the other question is how far is too far when it comes to performance? When you have episodes like this that, begs the question of the sanity of, the performers that are involved in said performance. So yes, I think for now that's what's I can think of as that.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Let me respond to that. I think one of the reasons why I went into this study was basically first to document the experience. Because oftentimes I have had some encounters or some narratives from people who say, maybe that was my friend, she's a woman, she directed a play and performed and had to do with the mermaid, the marine world. So she said when she got home while sleeping with her husband, she got up in the middle of the night and started dancing. And their room was filled. This is also a personal experience. She told me this, not that someone said. That it happened to say it to me. So when she got up, she started dancing, and the room was already filled with water that could get to her almost knee, to get to almost her knee. In their room, there was no rain, there was nothing, just like that. So she was like dancing the mermaid, the marine, movement and all those things, to the point that the husband was still sleeping. So while she was dancing, her hand, while she was trying to wave her hand, I think her hand hit the mirror in their room, and the mirror smashed. It was the mirror that went down that woke the man up, and she was in that liminal stage. The man now grabbed her and put her in the car. They had to drive. This was happening around after 2 to 1 o'clock in the midnight. The man had to drive her to a place, to their village, from Port Harcourt to Aba, where they kept her for her healing. You understand? So, but she remained in that state. Even the lady now, the Iba lady, the Mama Bori issue, she remained in that state even till the morning that we came for rehearsals. So I believe, like Tona said, that performance starts from the point of rehearsals. That was what inspired my curiosity into the study. He said that rehearsals, the performance starts from rehearsal. So what you are doing during the rehearsal is also something that also helps you to achieve the main production. When we got to the National Theatre the next day from the hotel, by 9 o'clock, we were not doing anything. 10, everybody was just like this, like as if they are mourning. This lady could not say a word, could not say something. She was just like this. Ask Vo, her name is Vo. Vo, what happened? The roommate was the one who was telling the story while she was keeping quiet. So it took the intervention of the director of Serima to make her speak. It took time. At the point she said that she just did like this. Nobody spoke to her again until she came out in that word. And now told them what the woman said she should do, that they should buy kola nut and perform the same ritual that was performed for the other masquerades. That was when they went, bought the snap, bought the kola nut, and prepared the ritual before she could dance, before she could perform that mama thing. And when she did that, what happened was that she told her what she would be doing during the performance, from rehearsals to performance. That same pot, she said that when it is this time, she should turn swiftly and stretch her hand, that she will give her power. That was what she said. That was what the woman told her. So she stretched her hand and she will give her something. And the director had now to choreograph or redirect the performance again. So when you get to that place, the lady will just swiftly turn, stretch her hand. This lady, the other acolyte, will now place a pot in her hands. So she will now use that pot to come and heal the guy who is possessed. Okay? So for us, we think it's the performance, but it has to do with the spirituality. Okay? It has called for that level. It's no longer like the normal thing that people play acting. So this one is something that you are given a directive by an unknown force to do, and if you don't do it, it becomes a problem. There was a day we were trying to do rehearsals. That pot was not placed where it should be placed. There was a pot that was asked. She asked her to place at the downstage center. That pot must be there during the performance. That was with the pot the lady calculator will have to go and break. So when she did not see that pot, the next day we did not rehearse again. There was no rehearsal again. In the night, the woman came again and they stopped her and warned her that why she left her was that the name of Yerima is also his son's name, his first son's name. So he has a soft spot for that name. If not, that she would have, killed her. That she must have. All the trips we traveled, all our movements, she had that spot as a hand luggage. You see what I'm saying? So she had that part. So it has gone beyond the play acting. So in the African cosmology, what we call, what we do most times are not necessarily just play acting. They're not just only entertainment. They are also our living experiences, our world. That's what we call the African spirituality. Okay, but she also have said this doesn't mean anything. She was afraid because she could be struck dead if she did not do what she was asked to, because she believes in it. That's another catch there. The belief first, and then the practice. Thanks so much for your listening. Sorry, one of them is called. Dr. Mbara. Yeah, I can hear.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hear you.
Yeah, we can hear
Can you hear
you.
me?
Yes, Dr. Mbara, go ahead. We can hear you, please. Hello. Dr. Mbara, please go ahead. We can hear you.
Okay, yeah. Good morning, all.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm Dr. Mbaran Namdi, Christian. I'm trying to discuss on the topic that says rejuvenating Igbo traditional dance performance and I'm looking at the Okorosha masquerade of Ohi community. The Okorosha masquerade of Ohi community. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go
Can
ahead.
you hear me? Okay,
Go
yeah.
ahead. Very well, very well.
Okay. Yeah, I'm talking on the Okorosha masquerade of Ohi community. I'm looking at this masquerade as a traditional dance performance of this Ohi community. Ohi community is situated in the southeastern part of the country, Imo State, to be precise. And the masquerade is a masquerade dance that allows people to enjoy themselves, that allows people to be in peace with one another over the years. But unfortunately, in recent times, the masquerade performance has been something that people or the younger generation, now let me put it that way, has actually neglected due to what I can say is a influx or the influence of modernity. As we all know, it is not a new thing. So that since modernity crept into our society today, most of these traditional performances that oppose the dignity and integrity of the people have been looked down upon. So having said that, the paper is now trying to look at how we are going to revive this once cherished cultural practice in the community, how we are going to bring it up again and preserve it for posterity's sake. Now, I briefly will look at the nature of the mask and masquerade performance in the Igbo community. The Igbo community is a people that have been known for their pride in the performance of masks and masquerade. And before now, they use the mask and masquerade or the masquerade to police. The masquerade acts like a police for the community. They guide the people. They speak about they try to control the people and the ills that people have been doing in the community. They are like the judiciary, the prosecutors of the people, and they make sure that everybody is at peace with one another. They try to police the community and make sure that lives and properties are secured. So looking at this masquerade, the Okorosha masquerade, let me start from the history of this masquerade in this community. Although during my research, it was discovered that there is no written documentation about this, the origin of the masquerade, because it is an oral tradition which has been handed from generation to generation. And also, nobody can precisely state the origin, the real origin of how this masquerade dance came into being. But in my further quest, it was discovered that, according to myths, rather, that the Okorosha masquerade itself started through a man that is known to be a peaceful man in the community. This man is, wherever he goes to, he's always trying to accommodate people. He tries to make people happy. He tries to bring people together. He tries to always put smiles on people's faces. That is just what this man does. And his name then, he was nicknamed Oko Nnaoko. Nnaoko, which they always say that, according to them, that Nnaoko to be interpreted is the father of Okorosha, because he will always come and say Oko with that kind of rhythmic dance movement. So based on that, they now see him as Nnaoko, which later metamorphosed into the Okorosha masquerade. So now this Okorosha masquerade has 4 stages of its operation. 4 stages of its operation. One, we have the first stage, which is bringing down the wooden gong. 2, we have the welcoming of the Okorosha ancestral spirits. We also have the 3rd one, which is the Okorosha performance day. That one is called Iba Okorosha. And for the closing ceremony of the Okorosha. Now, the first one, let's start from the first one, which is bringing down of the wooden gong. This ceremony of bringing down of the wooden gong is held at the compound of the Onyishi-ala Okorosha. That's the head or the chief priest of the Okorosha. This first part is marked with Ibudekwe, as in the slit wooden gong that is hung somewhere. They bring it down from where it is being hung. On that day, all adults, and more especially, I forgot to state this fact initially, that when you talk about Igbo masquerade, it is always meant for the initiates, male initiates only. Male initiates only, and a few female initiates, especially those who have passed the stage of menopause. So these people will rally around that day in the house of the Onishi Okorosha. And they're expected to attend the Itiabali, which is with a keg of wine, while the women who are also initiates will also come with a bowl of prepared oil beam cake. That's the Uba, as we call it, for them to wine and celebrate, because this is a new year for them. It's like their Christmas and celebration period. So after the celebration of the bringing down of the wooden gum, that's Itiabali Okorosha, they now go into the stage of welcoming the Okorosha ancestral spirits. So this welcoming of the ancestral spirit, which is the second stage, is normally done at night. It is a vigil night which precedes the performance of the day. So during this period, all invited guests, maybe the youths who are outside, will come back home. They will come back home with their friends, relatives, for the welcoming of the Okorosha ancestral spirits. So welcoming of these ancestral spirits is a merriment night. It is done during the night period, which is also characterized with eating and drinking. Then visiting of neighbors and exchange of pleasantries. The Okorosha ancestral spirits, or the Nwa Iyuzo, as it is called in the dialect, arrives around midnight, just say between 12 and 1 a.m. And within this period, children are not allowed to be out at that night. Women or visitors to the community also are not allowed to be out, by this time.
Hello? Tosombara. Tosombara, hello? The network.
Not from the owner, not from the.
Okay. Hello, Dr. Mbara.
We have another presenter that is okay.
Okay.
You know, same for the class.
Yeah. So, if you can hear me, please, can you just round up so I can take another person? We don't have time again. Hello. It's off.
Hello?
Hello, Prof. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Please, we're waiting for you. Can you just, give us what you have, maybe in the next 10 minutes, please?
Wow. Okay, people are saying I'm on the wait for since morning.
Yes. now you they wait for.
Sorry, I was held up in traffic. Where I am, unfortunately, I cannot share my slide.
Okay.
But I don't know if it's allowed, so I can just talk.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay. The topic is on mythologies and how to explore it in dance, in African tradition. I won't bore us with definition of dance and all that, but the thrust of the work, choreographers and performance artists have been able to re-image tradition, especially mythologies and dances. The case study we're talking about is the Ogbanje dance that was produced at Nnamdi Azikiwe University earlier this year, Oka. It talks about the myth about the Ogbanje is the Yorubas call it Abiku. We in Igbo will call it Ogbanje. So the storyline is about this girl from a poor family, but it was believed that she's an Ogbanje because supposedly she had died and come back again. And they now engaged the services of a fortune teller, a native doctor, to make her stay. Coincidentally, she found love and wanted to stay. So when the her kins and kids and kin in the spirit world were calling her back, the love she has for the prince, because of fortunately for her, she fell in love with the prince. She could not go back because she has crossed the divide into the living. Now, the storyline is apart. And what I want to bring out is that through dance, as in plays, because this is a dance drama, it was performed with full costume, complements of costume, set and light. We were able to, I did the lighting and I choreographed with my student, a master student. So we were able to recreate a seemingly sublime kingdom for the Ogbanje spirits, where they are supposed to be doing their things. And then it was a multimedia arrangement. Those of the effects we could not readily achieve on stage, we were able to superimpose them through projections. Now, reimaging mythologies actually is about how we're able to create and to demystify this myth that a particular person comes from a spirit world and is programmed or destined to go back at a particular time. Now, through these dances, or through this particular dance drama, we were able to recreate this event. It's a myth, but through our reenactment on stage, we're able to bring a lot of realities to play by making the audience understand that there's a thin line between this world of the spirits and the world of the living. In African tradition, and even in Igbo land, we believe that there's a communion, an interaction between these two worlds, and even the world of the unborn. And this Ogbanje arrangement falls in the realm of the world of the unborn, because when they come as human beings, they are received, but in parentheses, by the time they're supposed to die. That's why you find out that in some cultures, or rather in some tribes in Igbo land, some of these children are incised, so that when they come back, some even come back with the same birth man that they were given. By saying that we could reimage mythologies through dances, what I was saying that by recreating these performances in concrete terms, where audiences could readily identify with some happenings or even some folklore, as it may be, that dance, beside play, drama, dance in itself is a veritable means through which we can keep tradition sustained for generations to come. Perhaps maybe sometime after this, I will send the images to Kasmia, who is moderating this session, Dr. Kasmia Onyamuchara, so that perhaps some of the costumes, the makeup, even the effect, the lighting, how we were able to reimage these mythologies, bring them to reality, so to say, and make the audience identify with some of the characters in the storyline. So conclusively, what we are saying is that through dance performances, we could
Hello. Hello, are you still there, Prof? Network is worrying them.
Sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
I got distracted. Are you hearing me?
No, go ahead, sir.
Hello.
Go ahead, sir. We are with you.
Okay, I said conclusively, what we are saying is that some of these performances, we can use it to demystify some of these mythologies and make them appear real, as was presented in this case study we are talking about, the Obanje dance. As I said earlier, I will send to Dr. Kasmia some of the images after this session now. Maybe some of you that are still around in Lagos, he can let you see the costume, the makeup, even the effects we were able to create by lighting, and then play some audio so that the music, because we took these dances across different Igbo tribes, Delta, Anambra, Ebonyi. It's a medley of different dance steps from across the Igbo culture to show that this myth cuts across Igbo land. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. I just hope you will still be there to listen to some reactions so that you can.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay,
Dr. Nance, please, you can just go ahead and just conclude so I can round off. Dr. Mbara, please.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead. Please, can you just round off so I can
Yeah,
see,
so as I was saying, okay, sorry that the network had to put me off. Let me round up because the purpose of this presentation is to see how we're going to revive the almost gone moribund tradition, the Okrosha masquerade. Now, let me say the solution lies in the cultural rejuvenation in this our era. How do we do that? I think we have to come in with partnership, especially in the digital world, for us to be able to preserve this Okrosha masquerade. We have to link into the digital world, like digital platforms like YouTube, TikTok, and Instagrams, to enable dancers and the youth to collaborate in real time. We have to also, it will also help them to blend styles and stories from various cultures. Then these still in the digital time, we also have the VR, which is the virtual reality, where we use motion pictures to capture some of the Obrusha dance steps so that people can, from time to time, look at it, especially the younger ones, and learn how the dance steps and the rhythmic movements of the legs and hands and body, and also put them into practice. Also, we can, as a way of preserving it, we can also pass on the stories, the oral tradition from ourselves down to the younger ones to also make them understand and know the essence of keeping one's culture alive so that they will not be able to see something like that and call it something that does not exist or that they've never seen in their life before.
Okay.
So, okay.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Mbara. Thank you, please. Let's laugh. You have done well. I hope you stay put and listen to some reactions from the finalists here. Thanks so much. Please, we have had the two of them, speak to us. Let's see who has anything to say. Question, any reactions, please. Let's hear. Yes.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Lloyd. But I have some questions here. Some things with my theorists and I need to ask a question.
Can you speak up a little so they can hear you?
First, the first question goes to the podcast. How do you authenticate the experiences of these performers? Again. How do you authenticate the experiences of these performers that you highlighted? Because they form the crux of your discussion. So how do we authenticate them? You will say these are spiritual experiences. How do you authenticate them? Then the second one goes to Prof. Tochi Okeke. What informs your knowledge of the spirit world which you create in performances and on stage? Because he said he created an ambience that reflects the spirit world. And I know that all the performers, the directors, none of them have died and come back. So what informs your knowledge as an artist of the spirit world, which you create in performances and on stage? Thank you.
Yeah. So I thank you so much for that wonderful presentation, Dr. Kasmin. I think my question is directed to you, sir, because during your presentation, you mentioned about, you described a woman like the Bori woman, the one that served the role of Bori, and some of the experience she had, who she painted. So, and you also told us in your methodology that you use ethnographic, methodology. So I'm just concerned about how do we I think my question goes with what our last questioner asked. So I'm just concerned about how do we is there any other source or any other account that use the bar? I think you mentioned at the bar.
Yes,
yeah. So with the other scholar that have looked at that have had experience that try to digest or tease how they are experience with the bar, maybe maybe the movie, not probably the movie, perhaps the event or so. So you can probably make a comparative analysis of their own event, their own experience with yours as well. So that's just to authenticate, just to have a robust and enriching account at the end of the day. But it's very difficult to describe your experience. It's auto. How do someone else confirm that? So I think that is the one. And another, my second question is the role of probably religion and culture, because it's the one that served the role of Iba. Maybe she's not maybe a traditional woman or so, but she has a different religion. Or I guess because I recall one of this panel. Someone make a similar presentation and describe that maybe in Ondo State that they was acting a stage play. Then the woman that was acting one role, she fell down. And people thought maybe the role she was, serving in, maybe the person she's trying to emulate or so, had an encounter with her, and the person fall off the stage or thereabout. And people were nervous, doing the stage play. And when they when they found out later, they realized that maybe the one has not eaten. We actually had a physical, not maybe physical or spiritual event as type. Struck her, probably actually personal issue or that's why she fell off the stage or so. So I'm just trying to probably look at the role of other factors sources that could account for not just spiritual Maybe the one that you mentioned now, the other like events that she's not going aside from maybe she served the role of Iba. Maybe the other like event that would account for like, I mean, our experience rather than like maybe the spiritual events or so. I don't know if you get the question clearly.
Yes. Okay, let me go for Dr. Divine first. To authenticate experiences, like I have told you, like I said, it was an autoethnographic study. It was an experience I saw. So how do I authenticate it? It's by documenting it, by doing what I am doing here now.
You didn't get a question, the experiences of the performers who had that spiritual encounter. How are we told that what they experienced was real? Because at the point in your presentation, you said that the dance was choreographed based on the instructions one of the performers was receiving from the spirit world.
No, I didn't say what it was.
She sees.
No. I said after the encounter that she had, she was informed, she was told what to do from the spirit world. I'm coming now. She was told what to do, but she could not do it on her own. She now informed the director, see what they say I should do. Okay? The director is a naturalist, a realist. Okay? So he was the one who, first of all, who got involved in the area of ritual. So he had performed these rituals for these 6 other masquerades. I did not perform the same ritual to this other woman, which made her revolt. Okay? So she revolted. But because of the fact that his name is Yerima, that was what she told the lady. So I'm giving like an account of what I experienced. So how do I authenticate it? By documenting it, by telling you what I am doing now. Tomorrow, if this is published, incidentally, it becomes a reference point for someone who also has that kind of knowledge to also refer to. This person also said this when this happened in this performance. Remember, this is a performance. But beyond the performance, what we look at that beyond the performance, that the other things happen. You cannot, naturally authenticate it by who else is going to tell you the fact, apart from the person that had the experience, the knowledge. Because I was there, I was part of the performance. I am reporting what I saw during that performance. So that's the only way I can authenticate it is by making sure that this thing is written down and handed maybe in the libraries and whatever. So people read it and say, okay, this makes sense. I have had this experience somewhere. It becomes a reference point that beyond what you see on stage, there are things that there are some metaphysical forces that also propel what you perform. Let me tell you what happened. When Nature Troupe wants to travel, because each time artists are in camp, everybody wants to travel. Once you hear maybe this performance is to be taken to US or to be taken to the UK or anywhere, everybody's mind is, I want to give my best. I believe that the artist in question crossed the liminal boundaries because she wants to push herself beyond the level of the physical. I could see the day she was performing that because the first role she played, that Professor Rima was mad with her. You don't give me what I want, I'm going to throw you out. And that means you're not going to travel. So when she had that, the second phase, when she entered the stage, she moved from the natural to the supernatural because you could see her eyes were turned red. So she took in the character and became the woman and no longer play acting. So that was why the woman, that night of her performance, the woman came, visited her. So there is the word of metaphysics. So let's not, think it is just a normal thing. As those who are performers, I have been in that kind of level as a performer. But the point is knowing when to return, knowing when not to cross. I don't know if I make a point.
So how do we know when to cross?
It depends on you as a performer. There's the point you get to when you start feeling that there are things you do, you feel that this thing is no longer getting normal again.
When you cannot control it.
You have to
Yeah.
call yourself back and return. Return means there are things you want to do, continue doing. You have to call it back.
Yeah.
It's like an athlete. An athlete, when you do maybe what are 500 meters. I have also been in that ring before. When you get to the 500 meters, you take the first lap, the 400 level, second lap 400 level. The third one thing tells you, if you step and eat, you will die. You will collapse there. So it's the ability to now break the jinx of crossing that line. If you cross that line, it means you can even do 10 laps more. But when that thing that's telling you don't do it, tells you and you accept that, you return back. Which means instead of crossing to the other side, you have returned back to base where you belong. So that's how I mean the cross of the authenticating it is documenting it. That's the only way we can authenticate it. I don't know if you're the other that. I don't know if I answered the question. So
can I buttress your point?
Okay.
There's this.
Can I?
Sorry, someone is talking. We'll take you now.
Yeah, there is this performance of Shango Festival in Oyo State by some students, and it got to a point that the leader role that had to do the Shango himself was given some incantation to recite as a student and some things to hit to just perform that Shango for that sin alone. So in that regard, you can be permitted to a point by giving you what you need, not to go beyond, because you must have read your script of the performance, that what you were given to do, if you go beyond, you won't be able to go beyond it, because the permission you were given with the incantation and some things that you will hit, like Atare and some other things, won't take you beyond the limits that you were given. So the guy did it. A secondary school guy, he performed Shango. He sat on a mortar and nobody could see the mortar because of the level that they have given him. So he sat on the mortar, nobody could see it, and people were seeing him sitting on the hair. So that was the limit. And after the scene, after he has practiced his lines and all that, he couldn't go beyond it, and that was it. So he could come back because there was a limit for it. Do you understand now? So authenticating that, you will see it, and you can see that this is real. He performed. He brought out fire from his mouth. Yes.
That was right. No, I wasn't looking at the documentation.
Okay.
So he brought out the fire in his mouth, and he sat on the mortar, and nobody could see the mortar. And some of us that could see it saw it, but the crowd couldn't see it.
So we are saying that a massive performances have the risk of taking us to the other side.
But you can be limited not to go beyond where you were permitted to go.
That's the point I wanted to see.
Performances that have the tendency to be as immersive have people with the know-how in the scene.
So and their guidance as well.
Yes.
The people will be around.
Can I come in here?
Okay.
So, can I come in here, please?
Please go ahead.
Yeah, you see, this issue, I think, is good to be documented. Why? Because if you're a performer, there are times you, as a real performer, goes beyond that limit. Also, let me give you an instance. Let me remove myself now, because I've been part of this stuff for so many years. Now, during my first degree, there is this, I think that was a final year performance of Wokedi, if you've read that drama, that they had to, it's by Sabu Yorubi now, that they had to cut off you with the mask character, had to cut off the head of the father or so. Then, do you know that during rehearsals, this guy, the head of the masquerade, was just doing his thing he stay in his scene. But when it got to the performance, real, come and see what happened. This guy went beyond bounds, forgot himself. In fact, the spirit of the masquerade engulfed him. He couldn't even control himself. With the life machete, unfortunately, he had the life machete, and as God will have it, we that were surrounded, that were surrounding him, we saw the blazing knife. His eyes got red. He charged, and he forgot that he wasn't supposed to come down with the machete, but he lost guard and brought the machete down. And one of us who was fast enough had to pull off the man lying down, and the machete struck the bench. Had it been that thing never happened, something else would have happened. So that was why Bertolt Brecht brought in the alienation Ververidum effect, that most times you as a performer, remove yourself from the character you're playing. Don't allow it overtake you. At the point, you should know when to call the bounds, because when you are performing, most times when you notice that you cannot, there are some movements you make that you know that you are not the one doing it.
Yes.
If you're a performer, you notice at that point you begin to withdraw.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much. I think
Cass.
okay, bro.
Casimir. Hello. Can you hear me, so?
Yes, sir.
Okay. See, in line with the ongoing discussion now, before I go to my question, yes, there could be possession during the performance. This dance I'm using for this case study, the girl that played the Obanje girl, at the end of the performance, she passed out. It took, I don't know whether I will call them deliverance ministers to bring her back. Even I'm telling you, frankly speaking, she had to be carried to my office. Anointing oil, incense, so everybody begin shouting tongues. But I noticed that towards the last scene of the dance, the girl was not there again. So I had to wait for her backstage. Maybe she came, I carried her and go to my office. So these things happen. But then, as the last speaker said, how to know when to say stop. Some of these are students who use in productions are amateurs. They are just doing their thing. And then sometimes we won't even know when the spirit come. That apart. Yeah. Now, the question says, what informs the knowledge of the spirit world? See, we are creative artists, and we have had stories. In our tradition here, moonlight tales and all formed part of our growing up as children at home, in the township, and all that. So when such scenes come, when these events come, we have to use our creative imagination. That's why we are directors. That's why we are creative artists. Okay, it's like asking somebody, I think it's you. It's like asking somebody, how do you know about heaven? Nobody has died and come back, whether hell or not. Somehow, we all believe that there's fire in hell and there's bliss in heaven. So in recreating in our tradition, the spirit world, it is just finding something sublime, something ephemeral, something there's this Zeus play, it says beyond the realm. You have to think about something that can be likened as something beyond the immediate. So that is what informed our understanding of the spirit world, from stories told, from books we have read, and from fairy tales, even foreign fairy tales like Alice in Wonderland and all those Cinderella stories. We have had stories. Bringing all these imaginations together, one was able to create a semblance of what could go for.
Yes,
we are representing. We are not presenting.
Yes, Prof. Yes, Prof. Thanks so much. We are out of time. I appreciate you and Dr. Mbara for coming on to support this. And I thank everybody who has made this place, meaningful. Thank you so much. You know,
Thank you.
so what
Thank
we
you
have
very
done
much.
here is just to think about the African performances, you know, that beyond what you think we are, you know, there's this spirituality in performances. So that you can't take it away. But the point is, like the speaker said, to know where to draw the line. That's the only thing. And whatever you believe in, keep believing in it. But the point is, there is this and there is that. Thanks so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you very
Cass.
much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank you so
you.
much.
Bye, guys. We go see now.
All right.
See you. Cass, when you come back, may we see you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Guys,
Yeah.
come over and I beg. You don't take.